The most important question I got was, what is your legacy? Not a material legacy, but if life stops now, how do you want to be remembered? What is your frequency legacy? The Phoenix Frequency podcasts are results from that question. When all seemed burnt in your life, the fertile ash of a phoenix is filled with compassion, love, forgiveness, empowerment, intuition, wisdom, generosity, creativity, resilience, a balance of an evolution and involution, what is needed to rise. I am Nienke van Bezooijen and I live my Phoenix frequencies. On a weekly basis, I share my insights, my resources, and I have guests who phoenix themselves. If it resonates to you, you're welcome to rise. Welcome to the Phoenix Frequencies. Today I want you to tune in to compassion. What is compassion? According to the dictionary, it's a sympathetic or understanding or empathetic feeling for someone else's suffering or misfortune. So it's a mental and feeling approach. As a nurse, I developed that skill very, very easily. It's by nature and it was increased in my profession. And later on, I learned to be neutral, without any judgment to other people's situation. It's in compassion, feeling for and with you. Pity, on the other hand, has a judgmental layer to this feeling. Pity has a desire to fix or to solve or to at least have an opinion about the situation the other person is in. When I started as a heart ambassador, they used self-compassion a lot. And honestly, it confused me. Compassion for others, that was easy for me, just instantly. But my mind started to scream loud, even by the word self-compassion. I confused it with self-pity. And self-pity is something I became very allergic to during my life. I noticed it around me, I dealt with it around me, and it didn't serve me. Self-pity, it's a self-absorption. It's all about you. And there is very little space for others because you are the most important one in your suffering. So self-pity and self-compassion, it was an unknown area for me. Because compassion is a feeling, it's neutral, it's unabsorbed. And self-compassion, gosh, what is that? Where do I feel that? In my body? How can I think that? Mentally? I didn't get it. Intellectually, I could sympathize with the feeling, but just feeling itself? No. And not even pretending worked for me. I got even more confused with me when they mentioned to have self-compassion when you couldn't find self-compassion. How then? But the key was to let go of the thinking. Breathing heart coherence, breathing techniques helped to add a regenerative feeling like love or care or gratitude for someone or something. That was something I could feel. How about you? Can you? But every time self-compassion was highlighted, I blocked. It felt like I was stuck. My mind told me I wasn't worthy for any kind self-compassion. I was avoiding it like it was selfish. The compassion and self-compassion penny dropped for me when I was trained to give the material for the Heart Mastery course. There, it was something to demonstrate and to become self-honest, what you can and what you can't. But I noticed using the technique of calming my brain, physiologically facilitating, biochemically facilitating the feeling of compassion, that helped. When I could feel in my heart and my chest area how compassion could feel, then self-compassion was the next step. Also, when people harm others or hurt me, Doesn't mean I have to agree or disagree with the person. A neutral compassion opens up freely a space to support what might have lack of something or a need. If I witnessed hate or force in someone else, I even could add in compassion from neutrality. When that became accessible, self-compassion for something I couldn't do was around the corner. I could add where I blamed or shamed myself for what I've done in the past or how I reacted in the past. Then I could go into the now, shortening the time in looking back where I was lacking something. What helped was the understanding in using a mirror. At that time, did I do my best based on what I knew at that time? Because you don't know what you don't know, even if it's compassion or self-compassion. And how can you blame for what you don't know and what you don't know how to act around? That's the difference. So my first compassion, my access was the self-compassion for the past me. And that past shortened and shortened and shortened until it could be the past of me 5 minutes ago. So it became, what can I be grateful for? Have that regenerative feeling with me. And from there, can I have compassion, not self-pity, for what I can't or can't do yet? So taking out the force, taking out this self-beating up for what you want, just changing into a compassionate state where you can see that you will do your best. The point is, are you working on it? Are you willing to look self-honest to yourself, authentic to yourself? Vulnerability is a big, big helper. With practicing of staying away from the mental occupations and opinions and actions and thoughts, self-compassion became accessible and it shifted my life. I could add, by practicing gratitude and compassion for others, the same entering space for myself and start broadening it out to others as well. Like the oxygen mask, you have to put it on for yourself first before you can help others. So that's what I did. But stay away from the mental processing, the I want to know it all things. Sometimes that compassion can feel like a slightly cluttered place. So you are sort of there, but not completely. It isn't a complete free flow where you can really support yourself fully. So I also learned with Heart Math and Heart Ambassadors how to solve that last tightening up thing where it's blocking in free compassion. It's like you have a pan or a dish and you rinsed it, you cleaned it, but there's still a little bit of dirt or crust left. Then you can soak it overnight with some good soap. Within Heart Mastery and Heart Math, they call it a compassion soak. And it doesn't need to be a whole night or overnight or a very long period of time, but just willingness to go where there is still a tiny, tiny bit of judgment left in the neutrality around compassion and self-compassion. What you can soak with the feelings, what helps regenerate your heart qualities, your uplifting phoenix frequencies. So with that technique, you can go there and wash your heart free for free flow of compassion and self-compassion. A warm bath from the heart to regenerate yourself. It can be fast, you don't need to have hours, and you can find it as an open portal for access. But what if you can't? What if you can't access it now? Well, give it a feeling what generates you, not drains you. Don't be harsh with self-blame or shame or dwelling in othering your compassion. Don't give your compassion feeling away to others. You can exit it yourself. If not yet, give it space. A compassion soak. Self-compassion and the access to it. Finding it made me grounded and faster to stay in neutral, no matter the circumstances. Because if I can have self-compassion, I can be there at any time, at any place. And if not, it gives me a space to look further and deeper. Checking points are: do I have any judgment and opinion about myself in blaming, shaming, naming all things what go wrong, or naming, blaming, shaming others for what you think you're better or worse of? These checking points are an open invitation to go to your heart, go to a neutral spot, find compassion and self-compassion, so you can serve the world with what I call Phoenix frequencies.